So I want to know a little more about the roles. You sent the pic. You showed us the picture that looks like a shadow with the girls, right?
Oh, it was a long wheelbase shadow, my friend.
But you said this is from when I was doing gray market, but unless it's another story or I confuse stories, I think you told me once a guy owed you money and gave you one of these. Am I right? Or did I mix?
Yep. That's how we knew how to ship it over. And the guy owed me about 10 grand and he shipped me a car instead because he didn't have the money. And he shipped me over that car instead. And I luckily, we were doing gray market. I mean, I kept the picture of the 928. We brought in a bunch of 928s. We brought in that 935 turbo, a couple of 911s that were just amazing.
But you were going out in this role. So this was what, late 80s?
Oh, this was 1985, 86.
You were 21 in 85, 86.
What was that?
You were 20 or 21 in 85 or 86.
Yeah, that's right. Wearing a tank top, Jeff. A tank top, looking studly, cruising around in a right-hand drive roller on the streets of New York City. It was hilarious. We used
it. So let me ask this because I remember the style. So you're wearing a tank top. It was probably tucked in to your tight jeans. Come on, with like boots pulled up over the jeans.
It was worse. It was Aka Joe. Remember the Aka Joe? No. Remember ACA? You don't remember Acapulco Joe?
Wow. I don't think so.
Wow, maybe you know what? You got to Google that. You know what? I'm going to get you a tank top that says Aka on it. It says ACA. Very popular back in those days. But you know what? The thing was, I think I was able to get 9 people in that car at one point. And I was leaving a nightclub in the Hamptons at the time in Long Island. And I had at least, I'm not joking, there were 2 people in the front seat with me. And there were at least 7 people in the back. I mean, there were 10 people, including me. And of course, most of them were young ladies in the back. They're probably probably at least like 4. Yeah, probably 4, at least 4 girls in the back. And we get pulled over. And it's 4:00 in the morning. And the officer pulls us over and he's screaming because I had done like a complete illegal U-turn in the middle of the road. so it was the reason why we were pulled over. And the officer is screaming his head off. Are you crazy? What are you doing? I want to see a driver's license, registration, insurance. And at the time, just to look even cooler, I kept my English plates on the car. I never put my actual plates. I kept them in the boot, as the English call it. I kept my regular plates in the boot. And the officer is screaming his head off. And then it dawns on him that he's screaming at the passenger because it was a right-hand drive. So I was sitting there in the car.
That's funny.
And the officer just looks up and he goes, "Oh, no, not one of these, not one of these." And he looks in the car and he just goes, "Go home to wherever your home is now. I don't ever want to see this car on the road at this hour of the night. If it is, I'm taking everybody in." And we just drove off because the guy it was one of those cars, and I kid you not, because I only use the car in the summertime. I would leave that car double parked in front of restaurants outside New York City with the windows down, Jeff. I could leave the keys in the ignition, and no one would go near it. No one would go near it. It was hilarious. It was definitely one of the funniest vehicles that I've owned in that time period. And of course, I ran it until the hydraulics exploded, which is what they do. They do. I mean, it exploded.
Suspension spheres, brake accumulators.
Oh yeah. The ass of the car was
steering rack.
It could almost hit the ground at a certain point. If I put luggage in it, I probably could have hit the ground with it. And I remember calling up. There was a dealership in New York called Harvey's. I don't know if you. Oh yeah, he was like the Rolls Royce guy in New York City at the time. Rolls Royce and Bentley really wasn't cranking yet. And I brought it into Harvey's, and he took a look at it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we can fix this. It's like like 22,000, 20 something." And that's when I said, "I'm selling this car." And subsequently, I sold the vehicle for probably the same amount that the guy owed me money on. I mean, I got great use out of it until it went nuclear, and some lucky person got, because the car, other than that, I think that thing had a 6.75 liter freaking engine in that thing.
That's what they had. Yes.
Yeah.
All the torque in the world.
And it was gorgeous. I'm not going to lie. It was gorgeous. I wish I knew more how to work on it. But the thing was, it was a work of art. I mean, I believe that was the engine, or a version of it was in like the Spitfire and the what's it called? The air, what of our airplane? What was it? The Mustang?
Rolls-Royce Aero? No.
I think it was in the Rolls. I think the Rolls-Royce engines were in the airplanes.
No. Sorry to burst your bubble.
You don't think so?
No, they're not putting some iron block 6.75 liter car engine in a plane.
No, I think it was a Rolls-Royce. What they call it? Rolls-Royce Merlin.
Rolls-Royce still makes airplane engines. Rolls-Royce is in the airplane engine business. It just wasn't that.
Right. Right. Well, maybe it wasn't that one, but it was a similar one.
Now, Jay Leno has a car with the Merlin engine.
Now you're talking. That's the engine.
Yes.
That was the engine that was in.
The engine that you're talking about in Rolls is really legendary, and they've always used 6.75 liter, and even the new Phantoms, all new Rolls they still use 6.75 liter. That's
and can I ask you why? Why is that their number? Does anybody know?
There. It's only tradition. It's where they started with the Ghosts,
right?
And they call it waftability. They never disclose horsepower. The horsepower is always adequate, right? And but the torque was monster. So the idea was, without any fanfare, without any noise, without any RPMs, you give it just a little gas, it would go.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.